Good morning, motor cars. It is Friday, the 17th of November, and we are speedily approaching Thanksgiving. We actually had a potluck this week in the BDC, so I'm feeling fat and rather contented, and there's lots and lots of good food floating around, but I definitely gained some weight. Anniversaries this weekend. On the 19th, we have Steve Derline, who is our company photographer, so happy anniversary, Steve. No birthdays this weekend. I do want to make mention, though, of these raffle tickets that you can get from either Steve Walkoff or Georgianne over in Honda. And we're actually supporting a charity that does brain research this year. So make sure that you buy a couple of these tickets to help support that. And you can potentially win a LeBron jersey or some Cavs tickets. Or they have like a Pop-A-Shot basketball game. It's a huge thing. You can see it over at Toyota if you want to. So make sure that you buy some of those tickets. I was doing a little thinking this week with the reopening of the Collision Center about collision stuff in general, and I did a little bit of research on it because I get curious about things when I think about them for more than a minute or two at a time. And I found out that every year in the U.S. there are about 6 million car accidents which cause 3 million injuries, 2 million of which are permanent, and about 33,000 deaths every single year. In Ohio, we had 1,634 fatal crashes last year. 324 of them were drunk drivers, or about 20%. That may seem like a pretty good percentage, but it's still twice the rate of the state with the lowest drunk driver rate, so we've got a ways to go there. Speeding causes about 30% of all accidents, and reckless driving about 33%. And accidents cost each one of us about $820 a piece in insurance charges every year. So those are some things to look forward to as we get robotic drivers. All those numbers will go down, so that's a plus. In the meantime, seatbelts reduce the risk of injury by about 50% and the risk of death by about 45%, so always make sure you wear a seatbelt. If you don't wear a seatbelt, regardless of whether you're in the front seat or the back seat, your chances of becoming a projectile and going through a window are about 30 times higher. Something else to bear in mind. If you sneeze while driving 60 miles an hour, your eyes are closed for an average of 50 feet of travel. Most accidents occur within 3 miles of the driver's home. And when you talk, not even texting, just talk, on a cell phone while driving, you increase your chance of being in an accident by 400%. And that's because the amount of brain activity focused on driving declines by 37%. So you lose more than 1/3 of your perception of even what's going on around you. Talking about text messaging, we all know that that's a bad thing. The average text message takes about 4.6 seconds to write and send, and about the same amount of time to read when someone sends one to you. So to get an idea of exactly what that's like as driving goes, on the highway, put a blindfold on yourself and drive the length of a football field. Would you do that? That's essentially what you're doing when you're texting while you're driving. You're driving the length of a football field blind. That's why texting makes you 23 times more likely to crash than someone who's not texting or reading a text. The last fact I've got here is one that I think is pretty obvious to everybody. Male drivers cause twice as many accidents as female drivers. I've got some links that I'll put in the comments section for some more information about collisions, accidents, and how to avoid them. Have a good weekend, motor cars, and remember, drive safe.